You're listening to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and click the bell to make sure you get the latest episodes of the podcast. Be sure to like and share our Facebook page and follow us on Twitter and on Instagram. Let's preview the ICC Cricket World Cup for 2023 and go through all 10 teams' squads and talk about their chances of winning this year's World Cup in India. First of all, let's start off with the host nation of the World Cup this year, and that's India. The host nation, of course, India hosting this World Cup, and their captain is Rohit Sharma. They've won 2 Cricket World Cups in their history. First one was the famous win in 1983, and the second one was back in 2011, where MS Dhoni led India to glory. The last time the World Cup was held in India. Can India repeat their heroics from 2011 and win the World Cup at home in 2023? That is the question. First of all, let's have a look at their squad. The squad they've selected: Rohit Sharma, Hardik Pandya, Ashwin, Gill, Kohli, Iyer, Christian, Rahul, Suryakumar Yadav, Jadeja, Thakur, Bumrah, Shami, Siraj, and Kuldeep Yadav. And it's a pretty good squad that India have assembled and selected for this World Cup. And they've got all bases covered, really. They start off as favourites to win this tournament. The squad's pretty strong, as we know. Good batting, good bowling, very strong in both departments. And they should do really well in this World Cup, I think. Preparation for India coming into this World Cup has been pretty good. They won the Asia Cup recently. They dominated the final against Sri Lanka, bowling them out for 50-odd, which was an absolute dominant performance. And obviously the ODI series against Australia recently, they won that series 2-1. And they're in good touch, good preparation, pretty much ticked all the boxes, really, India. And they come into this World Cup at home as one of the favourites, as you would expect, being the host nation and the home side. So, as I mentioned, India pretty blessed with talent and skills in their team. You have a look at their batting. Rohit Sharma, Shubman Gill's just been a revelation. Virat Kohli, the veteran, his class, his quality, we know what we expect from him. Shreyas Iyer is exciting. Ishan Kishan, we know what he can do in the IPL. KL Rahul is capable of doing well with the bat. Suryakumar Yadav, Sky is pretty good as well. And that's just their batting. Their bowling's pretty good as well. You've got a good spin attack in Ravi Ashwin and Jadeja, Kuldeep Yadav. Good spinners. They've taken a lot of wickets between them. You also have a look at their pace attack as well. It's pretty strong as well. Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Shami, Mohammad Siraj. Shardul Thakur can do a job. Hardik Pandya is very good with the bat and with the ball as that all-rounder. So India have got all bases covered. And I think that's what separates India from the rest of the other teams in this World Cup, is that they're able to cover all bases and they have the players to fill specific roles. And they have that luxury, whereas other teams don't in this World Cup. And you will see many teams changing their 11 each and every game, trying to get the right combination. But I think India will probably go less with the changes. It depends on conditions, of course, but they've pretty much got all bases covered, really. With that being said, I think the biggest challenge for India, for them to win this World Cup, is I think the biggest challenge is, how do they handle the external pressure? How do they handle the outside noise of the fans, the expectations of the nation on their shoulders? And for India, we know they haven't won an ICC event for a very long time. A lot of the Indian fans are very frustrated at that because they want India to win an ICC trophy, which they haven't done. So the biggest test for India in this whole entire World Cup, they're going to be challenged on the field. Absolutely, you are going to be challenged on the field. But how do they go about handling the pressure externally and also internally as well. Because we've seen from India in recent ICC events, T20 World Cup semi-final last year against England, they lost badly. The 2019 Cricket World Cup in England, they lost to New Zealand in that semi-final, which spanned over 2 days because of rain. So India have this habit of not quite getting over the final hurdle, not handling that sort of pressure. So that's going to be the biggest test for India in this World Cup. They've got all the skills and all the talent covered. They're going to do well in terms of the cricket side of things, but how do they handle that pressure on the field, but also off the field? And I think that's going to be the biggest test for India. And they can draw on some inspiration from the team who won in 2011 at home. That was a famous victory. MS Dhoni led the side well. So I think Rohit Sharma's captaincy, leadership, I think him being the captain, it's going to be important to lead the side and to really make sure that they can do this. You know, they can definitely win India. You know, they're one of the favourites. They can definitely win this. But they've got to handle the pressure all that well. They don't handle the pressure all that well, I should say. So they've got to find a way to handle that pressure. But, you know, they've got a pretty good squad. They've got a pretty good team. I think they'll do well. For them to win the tournament, you know, they'll have to execute on the day, because all the other teams in this World Cup, on their day, they can be very hard to beat. So for India, they've got to be on their game. They can definitely make it to the semis, but they just got to execute their skills. And if they can do that, handle the pressure of the whole entire nation and the expectations of winning the World Cup, then they can go on and win the tournament. So it'll be interesting to see what India do in this World Cup. I think we're going to see very exciting things from India. And we're going to see very good performances from their players with both bat and ball. So for India, just to finish up about India before we move on, pretty good squad, one of the favourites. They should do well in this home World Cup in 2023. The Dibbly Dobbly Podcast has you covered for the ICC Cricket World Cup for 2023. We will be providing previews, reviews of the tournament, plus live streams and watch-alongs of all Australia's ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 matches. Any selected matches throughout the tournament, semi-finals and final. Also, we will be providing match reviews of all Australia's ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 matches, plus semi-finals and final. Make sure you subscribe to the Dibbly Dobbly Podcast YouTube channel so you don't miss out on all of our ICC Cricket World Cup 2023 coverage.